Today I'm going to show you how to make a vertical layer chiffon cake, as well as how to make flowers using candy melts. Let's get started. These are the ingredients for the cake. First, mix the oil and flour. Stir until all well combined. First, combining the oil and flour is simple and won't develop gluten. You can stir it any way you want and you don't have to sift the flour neither. Now add the egg yolks and milk. Stir until all well combined. Now let's whip the egg whites. Add cream of tartar to the egg whites and beat on high speed. Cream of tartar can stabilize the meringue. If you don't have it, you can add a small teaspoon of lemon juice or vinegar instead. You can also use a hand mixer for this. Both methods will work just fine. When you see big bubbles forming, add a third of the sugar. Continue to beat on high speed. When the foam becomes finer and silkier, you can add another third of the sugar. Continue to beat on high speed. The foam will continue to get silkier and you will start to see some texture lines or trails. At this point, you can add the remaining sugar and beat on medium-high speed. Continue beating until you see some stiff peaks. After lifting the whisk, the meringue is stable and firm and the peak will not drip. Scoop about 1/3 of the egg whites to the batter and fold it in gently. This is to lighten the batter initially and prepare it for the rest of the egg whites. Once it's mixed well, change to a spatula and pour it into the egg whites. Continue to fold gently until it's all combined. Repeat this movement until the batter is homogeneous. Don't overdo it. Transfer the batter to a pan that is lined with parchment paper. I'm applying a little bit of the batter in between the parchment paper and pan to secure it in place. This way it won't move around later when we try to flatten the batter. Use something flat to smooth out the batter so it will spread out evenly in the pan. I'm using an icing scraper. Large or small will do just fine. Tap this a couple of times to get rid of the big bubbles. Place this in a preheated oven and bake at 320 degrees for 30 minutes. Once it's out of the oven, slide the cake onto a cooling rack and let it cool off completely. After about 10 minutes, flip the cake over, peel off the parchment paper, then flip it back again and continue to cool. The cake is still warm right now. I'm going to gently roll the edge slightly. This is the side that I'm going to roll later. Doing this is just to give a little head start to prevent the cake from cracking later when we roll it after it's completely cool. It will take a couple of hours for the cake to cool completely. While waiting for the cake to cool, let's make the garnish. I'm going to use candy melts to make some flowers. Heat some yellow and orange colored candy melts in the microwave for about a minute to melt. Once melted, transfer these into a piping bag. You can use any color you like. I use yellow because this is an original flavor cake. Prepare a few strips of plastic sheet. If you don't have this, you can also use parchment paper. Once I cut the tip off the piping bag, I'm going to cover them with a warm towel to prevent it from getting hardened too quickly. Pipe the candy melt onto the plastic sheet. Use the back of a spoon to pull it out gently. Be sure to clean out the spoon each time. This is how we make petals for our flowers. Make at least 3 different sizes of petals. Next, bend the sheet and insert it into a cardboard tube to set so that they will have a very slight curve. You can skip this step if you don't have any tube you can use. These will get hardened very quickly in the fridge. Now let's make the flour. I'm using a mini cupcake liner as my holder. Pipe some candy melt at the bottom. Arrange a layer of the largest petals on there. Repeat the steps for the second layer with the mid-sized petals. I use 5 petals for each of these layers. For the final layer, just 2 or 3 of the smallest petals will do. Place this in the fridge to set. And this is what it looks like. Now that the cake is cool, let's make some whipped cream frosting. Combine the heavy whipping cream and powdered sugar in a mixing bowl. Whip on high speed until it thickens. This is good. Transfer the cake onto a clean work surface. Cut off the edges. Now divide this into 3 even portions. I'm dividing the cake on the longer end. If you want to have more vertical layers, you will cut this into half on the shorter end. If the cake strip is longer, you will roll it more and create more vertical layers, and the cake diameter will be wider. So this is totally up to you. For the last strip, I'm going to cut the end at an angle so it will flush against the cake batter. I'm applying a layer of blueberry jam on there. You can use any jam you like or don't use any at all. Adding a layer of jam will make the vertical layer even more noticeable and prettier, but this is totally optional. Apply an even layer of whipped cream. Now we'll start rolling the cake. Cover the entire cake with whipped cream frosting. Smooth out the cream the best you can. I'm going to mix some yellow whipped cream with gel food color. Apply the yellow colored cream at the bottom of the cake with a small spatula. Now we'll finish up the decoration with more cream on top and flowers we made earlier. And this is now completed. Thanks for watching.